Yes, Applied Computer Science Project. My name is Terje Krogstad. I've been a former student here at HIG. Now I'm a lecturer and I work as a developer in a company here in Gjøvik. Last year I also was participating or was a part of this course as one of the mentors in some of the projects. Rune Gjelsvold had the main responsibility for the project. But this year it will be me that handles this. We also have other lecturers and mentors here. Marius?
Yeah, I'm Marius Rostavsky. Some of you had classes with me. I'm a lecturer in IMT. I teach mobile programming and work with the game programmers. I work with Simon. Yeah, I will be supervising some of your projects.
Yeah.
And also possibly giving some lectures on software testing.
Yeah, exactly. So we will be a team of several different lecturers in this course. I'll go through the organization of the course now in the first lecture, in the first session, and in the next session we'll go on to some theory around Scrum and project methodologies and so on. Okay, so let's go on to the practical things in the course. Expected learning outcomes, how the course is organized, what students need to organize. Code of conduct, course requirements and grading. Okay, this is from the website of the course, or the web page for the course. Expected learning outcome. First of all, knowledge. The students have gained knowledge in tools and methodologies used to develop state-of-the-art computer applications. So we're going to have quite a practical approach to software development here. So we'll do real-life projects, we'll do real-life scenarios, yeah, and that will be the basis for the course. Skills: the students are capable of using state-of-the-art tools and methodologies in development work. The students are capable of planning and conducting systematic testing of software systems, software and systems. The students can write technical reports documenting the process and the product. Okay, how are we going to organize this? We'll do seminars. We have 5 seminars during the whole semester. Okay? About 4 hours for each seminar. And there we'll do introductions to topics, tools and methodologies that you will use in this project. Okay. We'll have some lectures today as well, as I already mentioned, and we'll do project presentations. We'll come back to that when we talk about Scrum and Agile methodologies. Okay. The project work, we are expecting you to deliver product-ready software during the course of the semester. Okay? Working as specified in the project handbook. There is a project handbook that is published in a conference site that I understand that some of you already have access to. All of you are going to get access to that conference site. And we have workspace that is called Applied Computer Science Project in that conference site. And there you will find a project handbook which describes some of the topics and the main things that you need to know during this course. Mostly practical things, actually. In the project work you will use, of course, the tools that we have set up, like Jira, Confluence, etc. Git, and so on. And you will do this in interaction with your assigned mentor. Okay, so what will you have to organize in this course? You have to assign the roles within the team. We will have Scrum teams here, and there are particular roles that are defined in Scrum teams that we're going to use, and you will see that in the project handbook. It's described a little bit further there. Okay. You will be setting up meeting places, communication channels for group communication beyond what is described in the handbook. You have to facilitate yourself the way to communicate within the group. Okay? And you have to agree upon how you're going to communicate and what channels you'll use. Okay? You will be deciding on when to organize daily Scrum meetings. So it's up to the Scrum team to organize these meetings and set the dates for them and so on. And you will be responsible for keeping in touch with the mentor. The groups last year were not that good at keeping in touch with the mentor and the product owner of the project. So we're going to see how often you need meetings with your mentor and your product owners when we go on to the Scrum topic in the next session. Okay? So, and also you have to ensure the project complies with the process specified in the project handbook. Okay, code of conduct. You are getting access to both a Confluence server and a Jira server. So you have to remember that these servers are only for project use, of course. You have unlimited access rights, so that gives you some responsibilities related to that. So sharing is encouraged, abuse is banned. Violations may result in withdrawal of access rights, and that practically makes it impossible to pass this project. So use it for the project, use it for what we're going to use it for in this course. Okay? Okay, course requirements and grading. Grades are pass or fail. To pass, the project needs to produce a running product. Product documentation describing the features and the implementation. Last year we typically all the teams made a report, a project report that documented what you have done and so on. Summary of retrospectives, so you have to keep a log of the retrospectives, the meetings that you have, who's attending the meeting, what's been done in the meetings, etc., etc. We want reflections on process and product. You also typically describe that in your project report. And you will do sprint demos and retrospections at the end of each sprint. And that is actually, each sprint will be in between the seminars. So we'll do the sprint demos and the retrospectives in the seminars. And there are, as I said, 5 seminars. This is the first. In 2 weeks, there will be another seminar. We should be up and going when we start that seminar, because that will be the first sprint from seminar 2 to seminar 3. Okay? And before that, we are expecting you to try to start organizing your group and planning what you're going to do in the project. We will form the groups as soon as we can now, from today, maybe during next week or something. And then you as a group will try to meet and try to agree upon some things regarding the project. So between seminar 2 and seminar 3 we have one sprint, it's called. We'll come back to the term sprint when we talk about Scrum. Another sprint between seminar 3 and 4, and a third sprint between 4 and 5. Every student, one question.
Sizes?
Sorry?
What's group size?
I'll come back to that. Okay. Yeah. When we talk about Scrum and Scrum teams. Yeah. Team members must also meet these criteria individually. Every one of you have to participate, of course, actively in the project, and that's why we need meeting logs. We need, we also have the logs from Jira to see how who has been participating in implementing, picking issues, and so on and so on. So you have to actively participate in the project, of course. And you also have to participate actively in the Scrum demos. Students should participate in the seminars by presenting project status and sharing their experiences and reflections on the end of the project work. Students who cannot participate physically need to submit written or recorded contributions in advance. And the working hours we are expecting you to do during this semester is 275 hours, typically for a 10 ECTS course. Any questions? As I said, group sizes and so on, we'll look into that when we talk about Scrum.
Do you have any examples of previous projects just to get the scope size?
Yes, they are in both in Jira and in Confluence. Yes. So I'll show that to you as we go on now. We'll look into the Confluence site. Okay. Other questions? No? This is the Confluence site. Let's look at that.
We will have Git repository or something like that.
Yeah, there are Git repositories available, isn't it?
So we will
Yeah.
not publish it on GitHub or somewhere else.
If you want to use GitHub or something like that, we're open for that. Yeah.
So if you want to have your work in an open repository, that's fine. Otherwise, we have internal Git repositories on the development server, and you will have your own project space on Jira and on Confluence. So you will kind of keep documenting and working with those tools in your project.
Mm.
So Terry will talk about it a little bit more once he talks about the actual organization of the teams and how the workflow works.
Yes. So let's look. Yeah, one more
Will
question.
you be updating the course room in Flutter?
No, we'll use the Confluence room
Ah.
to communicate all the information. Okay. So I think there is a link in the front room that goes to the Confluence site. Is that it? If I updated it correctly. No? No. I'll put it out there, so you'll have it there as well. Okay, this is the Confluence site. Have anybody of you used Confluence before? Yeah, some of you. It's a part of the Atlassian software stack for developers and the development companies like Jira and HipChat and Confluence and several others. Confluence is used for wiki sites. So this is actually a wiki where you can make new pages, and you can, of course, you can publish texts and images and so on. Quite basic thing, actually. But here we have set up pages for the teams, for the projects, for the seminars, and there is a project handbook here on the left side, you see? Okay, let's look into the project handbook. It resides on dev.imt.hig.no/confluence.
It's in the front room.
It's in the front room. It is?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so the project handbook describes project methodologies that we're using, how you're organizing your meetings, the roles of a Scrum team, what you have to do related to system documentation, and how you can set up your development environment. So go through that handbook as soon as possible, okay? We'll put out all the teams. We will assess the team or set up the teams based on what kind of projects you want to participate in. So how did you do it last year? Did they have the possibility to choose 2 projects?
Yes.
And yeah.
And then we organize them into teams.
Yeah, based on
so
that.
That's how it was last year.
Yeah, so that's how we'll do it this year as well. I will send you a mail as soon as possible with the information on what you have to do what information we need from you related to the project teams. Okay, so you will pick 2 projects and you will prioritize them. We did that last year.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, you order, then order.
Yeah, exactly. Prioritize them, what you want to do the most, and then we will assemble the teams based on your what you want. Okay, but it's not always you can have the first prioritized project, but we'll try to do that, but we'll see how it goes. Okay.
Okay, so as far as I understand, you guys come up with 2 projects and we look at them and prioritize which one we want.
Yeah, exactly. But there are more than 2
Well,
projects.
we already have like 5, I think. Yeah. So there is
Is it-
already 5 projects out of which you choose 2.
Is the project something you just have come up with yourself, or is it organized with a company or anything?
Both. So we have researchers who want some tools to be developed, or we have some companies which want to test some ideas, or it's just out of the research interest. So last year we had, I think, 2 companies.
Yeah.
And we had the color group proposing their topics, and we had our kind of applied computer science group proposing some topics, and this year is similar. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Will there be more projects, or is it just those 5 now?
There will be one more.
there will.
So Simon didn't put one more, but he said that there will be one more.
Okay.
He will list.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I know of.
So we have six projects
Yeah.
for you to choose from.
So in the project description we will have what kind of tools do we have to use, or it will be just in our...
So most projects, the tools from software engineering point of view will be the same for everybody. So Terry will talk about it, and he's already started talking about Confluence, right? So build servers, the build process, the way you organize your Scrum team, and so on is kind of the same for all the projects. Within the project, you will usually have some guidance as to what language or what sort of technologies you should be using for that particular thing. So most project owners will have a requirement saying, well, it should be a web app or it should be a mobile app. So then you will have some choices that you will make, but you will have a general constraints by the product owner of what the technologies are within that project, what they are looking for to have. So you may be free to choose some things, but you may need to follow the guidance of the product owner as to the other technologies. And those should be listed in the description of the project. Yeah.
Given that the different projects might have different programming languages or development platforms,
Yeah.
And some of us might not be good at them, and some of us on the group will be really good at them.
Yeah.
Are we graded according to, on the pass-fail scale, according to our skills?
No.
Or should everyone get up to the same level?
Well,
it's more what you contribute with
Yeah.
to the project, not your skills within programming. We won't assess that.
no.
More the whole product that the team is delivering, if you see what I mean. The product and the project report, that's what we're basing it on.
Yeah, exactly.
So we won't look that much into code.
So the programming itself doesn't matter that much. It's more of the product which you do at the end and the process through which you did achieve that and the group work that you've done. So those they count much more towards your grade than the individual programming skills. Yeah. Of course, we want everyone to contribute, right? So if you are a very strong programmer and you get 2 other or 3 people who are not contributing to a project, of course you can complain and you can say, yeah, but so it's not the programming contribution, but the contribution overall into the project. Yeah.
So some of you may contribute a lot to the GUI in an HTML web app, for example, and you write a lot of HTML. And others program the backend, and we can't compare that up
No.
to each other. It's more what you contribute to the team as a whole.
And the final product counts the most, right? So the combination of all those different building blocks. Yeah.
So it's this project, the whole semester? It's no exam or any other assignments?
It's a project, and we will have an oral exam when in December.
So the project is just pass or fail, and the oral is graded?
Yeah, pass or fail. So it's based on that oral exam and the project report that you deliver as a team and your own individual project report.
Wait, so no grades at all?
No, pass or fail.
Yeah, pass or fail.
Quite basic
And so, yeah. So that's why those little differences don't matter that much,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. I'll also put out all the seminars in the Confluence site. This is seminar 1. We're in the course introduction now. At 15 past 1, we'll do software process model, project management, and tools. So that's more theoretic lecture than this was. Okay. Now I want to hear what you as developers have specialized in before you started this master course. Okay, I will talk a little bit about what I'm doing as a developer and the technical project leader at Scooter here in Gjøvik, and I would like to hear what you assess as your strengths and weaknesses related to development and so on. Okay, so maybe you want to talk as well. Yeah. Yeah, as I said, I'm a software developer, but I'm mainly doing web development and software system development based on or what do you call it, SaaS systems. Do you know what SaaS is?
Software as a service?
Yeah, exactly. Software as a service. typically with web technology-based GUIs and the REST APIs and so on, these kind of things. So web development, mainly I use the programming languages or the platforms Node.js and PHP platforms that we use at ours. And typically document databases like MongoDB, have you heard about that? Yeah. And for SQL type of databases, we are using MySQL. So mainly web development. I'm also doing a course in the spring semester that's called Recent Advances in Research in Web Technologies. So I'll probably meet you there as well. Yeah, and that's my development profile. Okay.
So I'm a lecturer, so I have a limited time to do coding, but I try to do it as much as I can. I also use Node.js and some of the modern kind of NoSQL platforms. The recent project I was involved in over the last 2 years was building a financial engine for matching transactions on a kind of stock exchange type system, where you can have bids and do a quick matching of the offers for sale and buy. That needs to run without interruptions. So that was the biggest challenge, that we cannot have exceptions and we cannot have, situations where it stops and cannot recover. So there was a lot of challenges associated with that. So that was a project which was quite different to anything else I've done before. With the bigger projects I worked in the past were with Sun Microsystems and Oracle. We were building intrusion detection software for